Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among the mountains, there lived a wise old master named Shiro. People from far and wide sought his counsel and wisdom, for he was known to possess deep insights into the workings of the human mind and heart. One day, a troubled young man named Koji came to Shiro, seeking guidance on how to control his turbulent emotions. Koji poured out his heart to the master, sharing his struggles with anger, jealousy, and fear. He explained how these emotions seemed to control him, dictating his actions and causing pain to himself and those around him. Shiro listened patiently, his eyes filled with compassion. "Koji," the master said softly, "emotions are like wild horses. They can either carry you swiftly towards your goals or trample you beneath their hooves. The key to controlling your emotions lies in understanding their nature and learning how to harness their power." Intrigued, Koji leaned forward, eager to absorb the master's wisdom. "Let me tell you a story," Shiro began. "In a distant kingdom, there once lived a young prince named Haruki. He possessed great strength and wisdom, but his heart was consumed by anger. Haruki's anger caused him to make hasty decisions, often leading to regret and sorrow. One day, a wise sage arrived in the kingdom. He offered to teach Haruki the secret to controlling his anger. The sage gave Haruki a simple, but seemingly impossible task. He asked the prince to catch the wind in a golden net. Haruki was bewildered. How could one catch something as intangible as the wind? Nevertheless, determined to overcome his anger, he accepted the sage's challenge. For years, Haruki tirelessly chased the wind, running through fields and forests, desperately clutching the golden net. The people of the kingdom watched in amusement as the prince's obsession consumed him. They mocked him, believing he had lost his mind, but Haruki remained undeterred. His anger fueled his determination to succeed. After a decade of relentless pursuit, Haruki returned to the sage, holding the net in his trembling hands. He presented it to the sage with a mix of pride and exhaustion. The sage smiled and gently took the net. "Haruki," the sage said, "what you have caught is not the wind, but the knowledge of yourself. You have learned that the true path to controlling your emotions lies not in conquering them, but in understanding them." Koji was deeply moved by the story and looked at Shiro with newfound hope. "Master," he said, "how can I gain this understanding?" Shiro smiled kindly and replied, "Koji, the first step towards controlling your emotions is to observe them without judgment. Just as a river flows through a valley, emotions flow through your being. Take a step back and watch them pass, neither clinging nor pushing them away. By accepting their presence, you begin to gain mastery over them." "But what about when my emotions overwhelm me?" Koji asked, his voice filled with concern. Shiro's eyes sparkled with wisdom as he continued, "In those moments, Koji, remember the power of the breath. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, feeling the air fill your lungs. Exhale slowly, releasing any tension within. As you do so, imagine your emotions flowing out with each breath, like dark clouds dissolving in the sky. Through this practice, you will create a space between your emotions and your actions," Shiro continued. "In this space, you will find the freedom to choose how you respond to life's challenges. Remember, Koji, your emotions do not define you. You are not your anger, your jealousy, or your fear. You are the vast sky that holds them all." Koji felt a newfound sense of hope and determination welling up within him. He thanked the wise master for his guidance and left the village with a renewed sense of purpose. Months passed, and Koji diligently practiced the master's teachings. Slowly but surely, he began to experience a profound transformation. He learned to observe his emotions without judgment, allowing them to flow through him without clinging to their intensity. He discovered the power of his breath, using it as an anchor in times of turmoil. Over time, Koji found himself responding to life's challenges with greater calm and clarity. He no longer allowed his emotions to dictate his actions. Instead, he embraced the freedom of choice, making decisions that aligned with his true values and intentions. Years later, Koji returned to the village, not as a troubled young man, but as a beacon of wisdom and inner peace. He shared his journey with others, inspiring them to embark on their own paths of emotional mastery. To conclude, let us reflect upon the profound lessons embedded within the story of Koji and the wise master Shiro. The tale reminds us that true emotional mastery does not come from suppressing or repressing our feelings, but from embracing them with compassion and understanding. Just as Haruki chased the wind and learned the true nature of his anger, we too must embark on a journey of self-discovery. By observing our emotions without judgment, we create the space necessary to cultivate mindfulness and gain mastery over our responses. The golden net symbolizes the wisdom and knowledge we gather along the way. It represents the insights we gain about ourselves and the world around us. Through this process, we realize that our emotions, like the wind, are transient and ever-changing. We understand that we are not defined by them, but rather, we have the power to harness their energy and direct it towards positive growth. The practice of focusing on our breath, as taught by Shiro, serves as an anchor in the storm of emotions. It brings us back to the present moment, grounding us in the here and now. In this space, we find clarity and the freedom to choose our responses wisely. Ultimately, the story teaches us that controlling our emotions is not about suppressing them, but about transforming them into sources of strength and wisdom. It invites us to embrace our emotional landscapes, acknowledging both the light and the shadows they contain. By doing so, we embark on a path of self-discovery, resilience, and profound personal growth. May this tale inspire us to embark on our own journeys of emotional mastery, recognizing that true control lies in understanding and embracing our emotions with compassion. Let us remember that through observation, acceptance, and the power of the breath, we can ride the wild horses of our emotions with grace and create a life of lasting peace and fulfillment.